Hello and welcome to a little bit different session of a playthrough. Today we're playing American Tank Ace. It's this one here from Compass Games. It's a solo game. There we go. Compass Games, Gregory Smith design. Recently I've been kind of looking at some of these. American Tank Ace being one of them here is kind of filler games to in between stuff when I don't have time or space to set up a big battle and play it through. And American Tank Ace is one of these that kind of fill in that type of gap with it. It's a solo game, if you haven't seen it already. Um, and it deals with a tank crew or set of crews that I'm finding that progress from D-Day to the end of World War II and try to survive and accumulate experience and just stories about different engagements that they have and different things that go on. So I've been playing this for a bit now, getting used to it. It officially came out last summer. Been enjoying it quite a bit, and actually joined in with a Facebook group that has been playing through a series of kind of cooperative campaigns, and you know, sharing their stories, activities, and so forth with that. And thank you to Ted Brayton for organizing it. And we get these battle plans every 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks or so, in terms of what we're playing out with the battle. Right now we're in Bastogne. We're about halfway, a little over halfway through. Having a real good time with it. Lost quite a number of tanks, which I'll show you here in a minute. But we basically have, zoom in here a little bit, basically our 8 missions per month that we go through. Right now, as I said, we're around Bastogne, Battle of the Bulge scenario. And this kind of outlines what they are, the mission mode, the weather, and the terrain, and then we generate the rest and kind of tell a story. So it's kind of fun seeing everybody else's stuff as well as contributing to that as well. Here is my latest campaign sheet. I'll bring this over to kind of introduce the current crew that's on there. You'll see here. Let me slide up here a little bit. There we go. You'll see this top starts out October, November, and then we're into December right now. Prior to that, there's another sheet that I had with September back to June on there. And you'll notice a number of the tank crew across the top: commander, driver, assistant driver, gunner, loader, and then notes, wounds, etc. Over here. And then kind of just what has happened to them, anything they've accumulated, who they are. I should say who they are, what's happened to them, if they've accumulated any skills or awards or anything like that, as well as I've added in, particularly kills and stuff like that they've had on the German tanks on here right now. You'll notice a number of X's. These are crew that have been killed or heavily wounded, seriously wounded, and are out of action. For instance, our last mission, we lost, who was it? Here it is. PFC Gonzalez. He was our driver. He got severely wounded and was out for 32 missions, as well as our loader, Private Harris. He was medically retired due to injuries that he had incurred. Everybody else had light wound. So that probably tells you what happened in one of the last missions here. Got knocked out. Knocked out by a, this one was by a Panzer V that got a good shot on the M4 A176. Knocked it out. Luckily, the assistant driver and gunner were able to bail out with light wounds. The commander, he had a severe wound which was minimized because he was able to use a special quality that he had called stamina. right there if you can see it, stamina. What that does is allows you to reduce wounds from a severe wound to a light wound. So that actually kept him going. He did earn a Purple Heart, as you can see over there. And then we're going on from there. So we have our commander, which is Sergeant Long. He's been in command now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 missions. Because I did play another mission already with that. He's been there since November, since the Hurricane Forest scenarios or missions. And he's had one other light wound over here already. He is actually knocked out an anti-tank gun with the AA gun. He's developed some other skills like Sixth Sense. I'll explain that here in a little bit. And I actually said Purple Hearts over there. So then as I said, our driver has been knocked out a couple of times. He seems to be one that keeps getting hit. We are up to another Private Gonzalez, who's the current one. He has no skills. The only skill a driver can get is what's called Eye for Terrain, but he doesn't have that. We have our assistant driver, and we have our gunner. If you notice over here, my gunner, he's been around for quite a while. He sends a prior commander. His name is Corporal Henderson. I should say Private Diaz is the assistant driver. Corporal Henderson has been the gunner. He's been pretty good. You can see he's racked up a number of kills. He does have the ability for weapons maintenance, but he's knocked out Panzer IV, Recon Car 232, anti-tank gun, Pac 40, Jag Panther 4, Panzer V, half track, so forth and so on there. So again, he's not the only one. Obviously, between the commander, gunner, and loader, that team really needs to do their job. And then we have a new loader too here, Private Griffin, brand new for this scenario. Like I said, we got hit here before. He has no skills there before. Kind of pulling him in as we need here because they got knocked out in the first mission, which is Losham's Gap. Like I said, they were attacked by Panzer IV and a Panzer V, plus a couple of German army squads. They were able to knock out the Panzer IV and beat up a squad a bit, but the Panzer V just got the main hit on there. So anyway, so they were knocked out, light wounds. We came back. Here's the rest of our missions that we need to get through. We did play Elsborn, and they were able to knock out a Panzer V and a Nashorn anti-tank destroyer or tank destroyer, as well as an infantry unit with a main gun within there. Not much else. So you could see over here, for those of you who know, and I'll kind of allude to this already, what their prestige level, prestige points, and experience are at the moment there. So we've got a pretty good prestige level and some points there, but still need to accumulate some more as we go along here. So anyways, how this works out, it's all abstracted. As you can see, it's all done through the boards that we have on here, and I'm not going to go into full detail of how to play this. I'm just going to get into the playthrough here, and hopefully you'll follow along with this. We've got several boards here just to introduce. We've got our tank status here that's in focus. We have up here our battle board, which abstracts our battle. No hexes and counters. We do have counters, but we don't have hexes. It's kind of abstracted up here, and you'll see that as I'm playing through. And then we also have over here, on here, we have our, sorry for glare. Let's move that over a little bit so glare is out. There we go. We have our status, which kind of shows, what the status of our tank commander is. It's got his sergeant stripes over here. He's got several wards. A Purple Heart. Actually, that should be a +2 Purple Heart, but that's okay. Bronze Star, because he knocked out 3 tanks in a row at one point, and the EAME, which is automatic, that you can get on there. And we also see his prestige level up here, 3 prestige points. Down here, if we tip it back, there we go. Down here as well. They do have a couple of things on here. I don't have the counters on, but I did find an MP40 up here for trading. They also have a helmet and some rations. These 3 up here. The other thing that noted here at the bottom is potential skills or used skills on here. So our tank commander over here, this was our stamina, which I was talking about before, which allows us to reduce a wound 1 level. Keeps him in the action. We've used that for his time, so it's only used once for a commander. He's also got a leadership bonus once he's up for a leader promotion, which is not quite yet. He'll have that here. He's got a bit of a ways to go. He didn't make it the last time, and he's got a bit of a ways to go for promotion, but this gives him a +1 on the promotion because he earned the DSC, or the unit earned a DSC. Our gunner has a potential -1 for purchasing the weapons maintenance. All that is just reducing the cost for purchasing that. And all these skills either can be gotten at the beginning through school or purchased using experience points over here. And you accrue experience points through just that experience in battle. So you've got to accrue quite a bit to get things moving. A lot of times it takes time to do that, and then once you accumulate up, it's going to help you quite a bit because there's a good bit of stuff to help you within there. Same thing for the driver. The driver has a nice bonus here called Eye for Terrain that allows a negative modifier when dealing with bogging and finding hold down positions. And then weapons maintenance and adrenaline rush for the loader, which helps them reload the main gun faster. So that's a little bit about the boards we are using here. So been talking for a little bit about an introduction here. I think I've covered pretty much most of it. I'll kind of just get into the game itself here, and you can see how it goes and kind of watch the AAR. I'm kind of a little nervous about this because there's a high degree that these commanders are going to get knocked out pretty quickly, but we will see how this goes, with this. So we'll get started here. There we go. Okay, here we go. So first thing we need to do is figure out what we're facing. Now I got my little miniature tanks here as well. One for my status, just a little Sherman 76 on there. And then we have another one up here on our battle board, which is going to be, where we're actually playing the game here. So let's get started. First thing we've got to do is figure out what we're facing. So we're in December of 44. We'll roll 2 dice. See what we get. We got a 5, which is going to be 3 infantry. All right, so this is going to be hopefully fairly straightforward one. Next, we got to figure out what our infantry is, kind of quality they are. Black one is going to be our quality, which is going to be the just regular Weimar infantry. So we've got 2 of them already. I need 3, so I need 1 more infantry. And they are on the attack. So we're going to be attacked by these guys, but I don't know what they're going to do because we'll probably knock them out. Now we just need to roll where their setup is. 1, 2 here, 3, 4 here, 5, 6 over there. So our first 2 is going to be a 5 and a 6. So 2 of them wind up over here. And our last one winds up 2 on our other side. All right, so they're going to be on the attack. So we're defending. That's what I should have said here. Our current mission is defense. Weather is clear. terrain is open. We're on the defense, so they're going to be on the attack. I think we'll probably be able to knock them out. Oh, I should have put my starting round in there. I usually start with WP, just to kind of blind any tanks so that they can hopefully address the appropriate units when I need to. So starting with that, also got my units set up in terms of how they're going to be configured in terms of the crew. All the crew except the commander are going to be buttoned up. We're on the defense, so we're going to start out that way and see how that's going to work for us. So with that, now we move to the turns. I should fill out my form over here. I do have a little form that allows me to track each turn, so I see what happens, and that helps me write up a nice AAR afterwards. It kind of looks like this, nothing real fancy, but you see I've got just wrote in my infantry up here, and then each turn is down here, so when I fire at them I could say fired at them, WP, HE, machine guns, etc. And then what happens to me over here in terms of them firing. Gives me a nice record, and also sees how long it takes me to knock things out or how quickly I get knocked out when I'm playing it here. So this is a scenario here. So we're going to see now. The enemy is going to be trying to close, so they'll close range on me, and they're going to try to get into close range. So I've got 2 turns to start knocking these guys out a little bit, I hope. So so first off, they're facing here. My turret is facing forward like this, so I can't shoot at them directly with my turret. I'm going to have to move and fire. So I think what I'm going to start out with, or I should say, I should back up here just to give you a little context here. I get 2 commands, basically, to command the tank with. So my first command, I think I'm going to take the 50 caliber and fire at one of these units over here. And then I'm going to have the turret swing around for the second one and take a shot at either the same one or a different one. So I'm going to take the 50 caliber, take a shot at these guys here. Now, the shot here, I think I'm going to need an 8 or less, if I remember correctly. It's a 9 or less. All right, modifiers. They're not dug in, they're moving. All right, so there's no modifiers, so it's a 9 or less. We'll get a hit. Roll a 7. That is a suppression on one of these guys. We'll pick him over there. So that's my machine gun, and I reduced my. There we go. Move that up there so we can see it. I reduced my machine gun ammo down here as well. So now my second shot, I'm going to rotate my turret, and this is where the miniatures really come in handy. I can just rotate it like that, and you can see what's going on. He's already suppressed. I'm going to fire. He's got WP, so I've got to fire this on him. So that'll actually, no matter what, it will suppress him again, so that's good. If I get a hit, that's going to destroy him here. So step loss and a suppress, yeah. So to get a hit, we're at long range, so it's a 2 to 5 is our to hit with no modifiers. So, also too, in terms of the reload, I'm going to have the loader reload from the not from the ready rack, but from regular ammo storage with HE. So anyways, long range, so it's 2 to 5. Rolls a 7. That is a miss. Okay, but a miss also suppresses them, so they're double suppressed, and which means they are reduced by 1 level on here. So let me just make some notes on my chart here. So we got one. We had the 50 caliber, and they got a suppress, and then we had the main gun, WP, and they also get a suppress, which turns into a step loss. Now, because it's WP, we also get smoke over here. So there's a +2 modifier now for shooting. We're over there. Okay, so that's not bad. We reduced them. I'm leaving the WP on there as a targeting modifier because we do get a -1 because we targeted them already. That'll help. Now we got to see if they shoot back. Now the suppressed unit, because we fired at them, they're going to fire at us. So it's going to be a little bit tougher. They need a 2, 3, 4, but there's a couple modifiers here. One being suppressed and one being reduced. They get a +2, so they're going to need basically a 2 to hit us. Roll a 7 is a miss. All right. Now the other 2 units, we've got to see if they actually recognize that we're out there and start shooting at us. So we'll go with the first unit up here. We need to roll a 1 for them to shoot at us. Roll a 3. Same thing over here. They need to roll a 1 with a 1 dice for them to shoot at us. They roll a 2, close. So they're not shooting at us. So that's good. We're in good shape. Like I said, this one's probably going to be a fairly easy scenario because we're dealing with all infantry within here. Next thing we're going to go with is event. Let's see if we have an event. Roll a 7. There's no event. So that's basically the end of the turn. All right, end of the first turn. So just to sum it up, you can see how quickly this plays, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of like this as a filler game, because it can play extremely quickly when you get going. I'm going actually a little bit slow because I'm talking to you. But now we're on to round 2. So first thing, our smoke starts to disperse. And I actually forgot to add the smoke in there, so they could never have hit us on there before. So the smoke goes down to 1. Suppression comes off, so that comes off, but they're reduced. We are still targeting them over there. So I think what I'm going to do with this, I've got my 2 commands again to shoot at them. I am going to have the main gun fire its HE at the reduced unit. All right, so now we've targeted them already, so there's a -1. We've got a +1 for the smoke, so it nets out to be 0. So again, 2 to 5, and that will hit them, and that will destroy them. A miss will suppress them. So there we go. Roll a 4, so that's a hit. They're gone. So we knocked out one. German squad. So I'm going to say this was, just make a note of this, HE, and that was a 1S. All right, so Gunner gets credit for that, knocks him out. So that's our first command. I was going to reload from Ready Rack. I try to, even though it doesn't specify in the rules, I try to specify how it's going to be reloaded, because it can make a difference in terms of whether you're using a Ready Rack or not. With Ready Rack, you only have this ammo available. Once it's out, you got to have the gunner reload it, and that takes an activation. It takes a turn to reload it. Alternatively, they can fire 1 shot and reload, not from the Ready Rack, and then do something else. So that's why I try to specify that at the time I'm shooting before I get the result, because that will make a difference, I feel, later on with everything. So anyways, I could shoot at them again, but I got smoke on there. I actually think I'm going to take the AA gun and shoot at them. So I'm going to mark off one more. I apologize, you can't really see everything all at once with the way my cameras are. But so I've just reduced my AA ammo down here. Now I'm going to take a shot up here at these guys with the AA guns. Because the AA guns, of course, are 360, so they can fire at pretty much anything. And again, they're going to need a 9. Oh, I missed something here. doesn't really matter because I got them already. Should reduce the range because they're closing on us. We're defending, and they're actually going to be trying to close on us. And I played a little bit differently. I'll keep the infantry closing on them because really their real ability against a tank is when they get in close range. They can potentially use a Panzerfaust on us, which is not good, for us. So you got to be careful about that. So they actually reduced the range. That didn't matter on this shot. It's not going to matter on this shot. And they're still in small arms range, so it's not going to matter, but it will in the next turn. So I got to make sure that I note that they are closing on me. So the 50 caliber is going to open up on this guy. There's no modifiers for this, so we just need less than a 9. Roll a 3. That's actually very good. That is a 2, which means both steps are knocked out. Good job, our tank commander with the machine gun wiped out that German squad with the machine gun, so they'll get credit for that. So the 50 caliber, and he got a 2 kill on him. That means 2 out of the 3 are knocked out. Now, standard rule says the third, when they're all alone like this, would run away. I've modified this slightly because we do have this little morale modifier on here, which typically is used with the Panzerfaust itself. I use this also to check to see if they're going to stick around and whether they have the fortitude to continue the attack or run away. So less than a 4, their morale is 4, so I say less than a 4 on 1 dice. They will stick around. 4 or higher, then they'll beat feet and head for the hills. So roll a 3, so they stick around because that has an impact. My feeling is that has an impact because now they're going to stick around, shoot at us, as well as potentially get a random event. We may get a tank come in because of that. If they run, that would be the end of the mission, and we go on from there. But they're sticking around. So let's see if they're going to shoot at us. Again, we need to roll a 1 for them to recognize us because we haven't shot at them yet. No, so they're not shooting at us. That's good. But we do need to check for our random event. And we roll an 8, and I believe an 8 is no event, and it is no event. So there's no event on there, no tanks coming in or anything else. So that ends round 2. We're going to go to round 3. Smoke clears from the WP. We still go into firing, so now we're going to open up on him. I'm going to have the main gun fire at him. Again, now we're at close range, I should say, because they move forward. Remember to do it, because they're closing on us. We're kind of sitting here. We can attempt to move back, which I may do. On my next command, but I think I'm going to try to take a shot with them with the HE at close range is 7 versus AA, which was just, well, we still suppress. Okay, so we're going to shoot with the HE. First shot here, 7 or less. Roll a 6, that's a hit. So they will be 1 step reduced and suppressed. Alright, that's good. So we've got that on there. Now, we could, because they're going to get a chance to Panzerfaust us, and if I remember correctly, close range fire, yeah, they've got a pretty good chance of shooting at us. So I'm going to have my driver reverse and put us back into medium range. Now, before we do that, we've got to check. Let's see, weather is clear, so that's good. We've got to check to see if we bog down when we move backwards like that. So the weather is clear, so he's got to roll. He's got to roll a 2, but he is buttoned up, so it's a 2 or a 3. Then we'll be bogged down. That's good. Oh, I saw that 1 and got worried, but 5 minus 2 is 3, so we're in good shape. So we can move back 1 for our second move. And they'll close range on us again, and we'll have to, if they survive the next turn. So now they get a chance to shoot at us. They are suppressed in half squad, so again, they're going to need, without a modifier, it's 2, 3, 4, but with +1 for being suppressed, +1 for being half squad, that's going to basically need a 2 to hit us. Roll a 8, that is a miss. So they missed us, but they did target us. Let's see, we had hit them. I didn't note this before. HE, and he got a 1S. Very good. All right. Let's see if they still stick around. We got to do our morale check here. 3 or less. They stick around. Well, it's the bulge, so last bit of effort. So they stick around. We'll check to see if there's an event. Rolls a 10. That sounds like an event. That sounds like not a good event either, because that is going to be a German mortar attack. That can be pretty dangerous, but this is where one of our skills comes in. Let me move back here a little bit. So typically the mortar attack, here we go, on us like that. Typically what happens with that, that's going to be an attack much like what we just did with the machine guns, but it receives a negative modifier to hit us. Now we've got an open hatch, which would hit us, but what I'm going to do is use this counter, this what's called 6 cents, which when I use that once per mission, allows us to automatically button up before the attack happens. So the mortars come in, now they hit, pretty much immune because everybody else in the tank is buttoned up. So we'll just have mortar fragments ricocheting off the armor. Mortars can't immobilize tanks as well, so that just falls harmlessly. But we are now buttoned up, and that's going to have an effect on our shooting for the next round. So that's all for our mortar attack, and that's all for round 3. So now we go to round 4. Suppression comes off. Oh, I forgot to reload over here. I forget that once in a while. Kind of a pain in the neck. I was going to reload just with the regular ammunition out of storage, not from the ready rack, because there's no criticality. So we'll reload with HE over here to take a shot at them. So now our next turn, we're buttoned up, so I can't, here's one thing, I can't use the AA gun now that I'm buttoned up. So the AA is out. We can still fire our main gun. We're going to have a positive modifier for that. Or I could fire the coax gun over here, and that would also have a positive modifier for that, for a miss. So looking at our options, now our gunner already has a bead on the infantry over here, because I got the HE on here. I think I'm going to use the main gun was my first command. Fire another HE round at them. See if we can knock them out. So this is going to be now at medium range. This is going to be a 2 to 6, -1 for acquired, +1 for being buttoned up. So that is basically going to net out to nothing. So we just need a 2 to 6, and we hit them. Roll a 10. That's a miss, but that still gets a suppression, so that helps a little bit. So that ammo comes off. Oh, my reload. Yeah, we'll do it from the ready rack so we can fire a second shot at them. I should specify that before, because I feel it does make a difference in terms of how you manage your ammunition, which can be more critical in a more trickier battles. So anyways, so I fired at him, missed with the first round. He is suppressed. We're going to fire a second round at him. All right. Oh, we should have closed range. Yeah, we should have closed range here as well from the last turn. So sorry. So yeah, I'm still going to do that. I think we can knock him out at this point because he is already suppressed. So again, this is going to be 2 to 7. Rolls a 2. That's a hit. So that actually knocks him out. So there's 3 infantry knocked out by the. Actually, 2 knocked out by the gun and 1 by the. One by the commander. So the third one, that was HE, and he got a 1S. All right, and that knocked him out. So that's the end of the scenario. It's a defensive scenario, so there's no potential for counterattack. We actually won, so that's good. We'll get a success on there for us. One thing we do need to do is see what we find on the battlefield. One of the things at the end is you can kind of scrounge up for German war trophies. So let's see what we get, if anything. Roll 3, which is a Hitler Youth knife. Okay, that's a Hitler Youth knife, which is just a knife over there, which gets us 3 points for trade-in value, or we can get extra stuff. So I'll make note of that. Found Hitler Youth knife. All right, I'll get a counter on there later. I didn't put the other counters in there, so that gives us that. Next thing is just looking at our record over here. We've just attacked infantry, so there's no awards that we'll get for this because we didn't have any armor, and even then we need quite a bit of armor to show up and for us to destroy to get any awards. There's nothing for awards within there. So this is what, just kind of show you some of the paperwork behind the scenes here. This is what our combat round looked like. My notation here, we basically had 4 rounds. In those 4 rounds, we knocked out the 3 infantry over here. I forgot to circle them, but I'll do that later. Suppressed them with 50 caliber and white phosphorus, and killed them with HE fire. 50 caliber knocked out the other squad, and then gunner knocked out with 2 HE rounds on the third. So that was nice. That gives us a nice clear picture of how the battle was. I'll fill in some blanks with the details later, because what I usually do for this little Facebook activity that we have is do a little bit of a story narrative write-up for it within there. So now I just will fill out the other documents that I was showing you before in terms of who knocked out what, kind of giving credit to the tank crew that knocked out the units. So for instance, our commander is going to get credit for one army squad. We can see over here, just filled this out, so you can see he gets credit and he gets credit for 2. In terms of the prestige, there's not much prestige for that. There's no prestige for that, I should say. It's very simple. There's no prestige for, just knocking out infantry. Obviously, you have quite a bit of an advantage over the infantry with the tank. So there's no real prestige that comes from that. We do get a experience point. I'll show you that here on another sheet. We do get an experience point. Here's kind of an overall showing our different missions over here and what was knocked out. It was successful. We did get a experience point over here, which adds on our experience and allows us to purchase things within here. So we've got basically 4 more missions within this month to to work through. But let me just finish off the crew record. Prestige points is 1, experience points is now 2. We found a Hitler Youth knife. Okay. So one of the things at the end of the turn that I will consider doing here, because now I've got 2 experience points, is actually cash those in for something. And where are we here? Here we go. We have these skills that we can cash in and get things, and one of the things that I'm going to get here is called synergy. I'll put little blips up here of what that is. Basically, a commander, once per mission, can issue 3 commands instead of 2 in a combat round. So within a mission that we have, we can issue 3 instead of 2, and that can be very critical, particularly in a heavily engaged situation when you're dealing with multiple tanks and things like that. Getting that 3rd round will allow you to possibly shoot twice and still move, or shoot twice and fire machine guns, or shoot 3 times if you want. So we're going to cash those in, cash that experience points in, and now get that as part of our end of turn activities here. So our experience will now go down to 0. So we cash those in, and that will give us the ability to get a counter here that says synergy, and I'll kind of get that out here too. The other thing I'm going to do, take that off for experience because I cashed it in. The other thing I'm going to do to help with the synergy, and because you can lose synergy, the synergy can be lost if you lose a crew member. Crew member lost, you will lose the synergy, and you have to either repurchase it for 1 experience point, or if you have a good case of French wine called booze, or German beer, doesn't matter, you can cash this in and restore your synergy. So what I'm also going to do is cash in some of our war trophies and purchase some booze so that we can have that in case we lose a unit, a crew member in battle here. Now, booze, I can't remember how much that is. That's going to be 2 points. So we have our Hitler knife, which is worth 3 points. We've got our we'll cash in our MP 40, our submachine gun that I was telling you about before. I'm going to cash that in, so booze for MP40. So we had gotten that before. Yeah, that's the only thing we had, because our rations, because we lost the tank, we lost all the rations and the helmet. So cashing the MP40, we still have the Hitler knife, which will help us if we want to buy something as well. But we now have the booze, which I'm going to add over here like so. So that's recognized that we have it. There's other things we can buy too, like cleaning kits and so forth to help out. So with that brings us to the end of this particular mission, which was the 4th one in our battle, the St. Vith mission, and moving on to Bullingdon. So anyways, I just wanted to give a little preview, do a short video on this. Like I said, it's kind of fun, real quick to play, real fun to do. It's great to read the other AARs that people put up regarding this, as well as just kind of having a teamwork effect to see how we can get through. So anyways, just wanted to do a quick video on this. Hopefully you like this and watched it all the way through. If you did, please like it and everything. I'll also put a link to the Facebook page over there if you want to follow the other people there as well. It's real good stuff. American Tank Ace, 1944, 45. There's the cover again. Kind of fun. As I said, it is actually a remake. I should mention too. It is kind of a remake or a lighter version of Patton's Best back in the Avalon Hill days. But it's real fun, real quick, and fun little fill-in game. So thanks for watching. Take care.